Henry Smith is the MP for Crawley. Good morning, Mr Smith.
Good morning.
We have spoken about this before, but it seems like the practice is rife. The suggestion is that foreign workers just want it that little bit more.
Well, I'm not questioning the work ethic of people who come to this country for employment. Of course, they are motivated, and I don't blame them for that. What I am concerned about is that I know, because people tell me, that they want to get jobs as taxi drivers, for example, and other positions, but are unable to do so because we are importing people for those positions. And whilst being a taxi driver is a very important job, it isn't a highly skilled job, and I just don't buy the argument that there aren't people locally motivated and available who could be able to fulfill those positions, rather than importing people from, over 1,300 miles away in Romania.
Presumably, if the recruitment process is fair, if the jobs are advertised and people apply for them and then get taken on a standard criteria, then it's up to British people to get their faces in the way of taxi firm owners and say, look, I'm really desperate for work, I'd do a good job for you, help me out here.
Well, I think that's part of the problem, because my understanding is, in this circumstance, is that these jobs were only advertised in Eastern Europe.
But that's
they weren't
legal.
Advertised here locally, so British local residents here in Crawley, whether they're British or not, actually, wouldn't have had an opportunity to.
But that is legal, isn't
apply.
it? There's nothing you can do about that.
Well, my point is that I think people should be advertising locally, because unemployment in the Crawley area is 4%, and there are people who are willing to work locally, and if they are not being given the opportunity to apply for jobs, then I think that's fundamentally unfair.
You keep hearing this anecdotally, and even if it's not true, because I've heard you say before that the British workers there's nothing wrong with the British workforce. There is a reputational issue here, isn't there? A PR job needs to be done on the attitude of the British worker, because there's an assumption amongst employers that foreign workers do work harder.
Well, I do think that assumption has become sort of common currency, and that certainly does concern me. I think there are motivated people and, shall we say, less motivated people from all sorts of backgrounds and all sorts of countries. There are Romanians who are extremely motivated, and there are Romanians who aren't, and the same applies to people living in this country as well. But I know from the people who come to me, and in fact I had one just in my advice surgery on Friday evening, ironically, as I knew I was going to be doing this piece, who said that they have tried to get a job as a cab driver locally and haven't been able to. And this isn't somebody who was originally British, this is somebody who has a Pakistani background. So this isn't a race issue, this is an issue about people locally being able to fill positions at a local firm that should be available locally.
Well, listen, last time we spoke about this, the phones, in the proverbial phrase, lit up, and Danny Pike is going to be talking about this at length on his show from 9 o'clock this morning. Thank you very much for coming on, Mr Smith. Just before you go, we're talking personal fitness regimes.
I thought you might ask me this.
Go on then, what's yours?
Well, I always take the stairs rather than take the lift. And my office is a very long way from the House of Commons chamber, so actually I wore a pedometer a few months ago, and I actually end up walking back and forth to the House of Commons from my office several miles a day, so that's my exercise.
Oh, well, there you go. So your staff always wonder why you arrive in the office completely out of breath. What's he been doing? Henry, thanks very much indeed for coming on. Henry Smith, MP for Crawley.